There's been no significant changes to the areas that we look at in student applications. There's always been a supervisory environment one. What I did this year, because I think you had a conversation with Deborah Langell regarding areas that you were interested in emphasizing, and she mentioned to me about the student piece. So I took a look at a number of our peer review feedback pieces to the students, and also to comments from some of our review committee members. Sorry. And that's things we've noted over time. NSHRF staff also observe the peer review processes very regularly, so we're also familiar with the kind of discussions that go on during those meetings. Similarly, we observe national reviews, but this is specific to NSHRF, what our committees tend to be looking for. Okay. Just on that note, while I'm thinking of it, we offer a peer review observer program at NSHRF. It's not unique to Canada, but it's certainly unique in our broad use of it. All of our review committees currently allow peer observers. There is an application process. You can come and attend. Generally, we encourage people to come to the days where we're looking at health research projects and the CHIRP projects. The student reviews go quite quickly. If you are a supervisor of students and you wish to attend that, we can make special arrangements, but generally it's the projects. I would strongly encourage anyone who has to support applicants to health research funding to be a peer observer at some point. You learn more during those peer review sessions about how to write a grant than in writing 3 or 4. It's absolutely astonishing, because you're hearing the committee say, this is what I'm looking for, and this really annoys me. And you don't want to annoy the reader of your application. If you make it difficult for them, it's going to react. That's going to be your problem, not theirs. So that's a very valuable experience that I would encourage you to explore. New for students this year, as I mentioned already, dates are new. CCV for NSHRF is new. A new rule for us is that applicants for the Student Research Awards may not hold remunerated academic appointments. So you can't be an associate professor being paid to do research and teaching and make an application for a PhD or postdoc Student Research Award. The sponsor and supervisor must be in sealed envelopes. That's new. Adding the electronic copy, new for students as well. And the ineligibility rule, same as with the projects. If you are ruled to be ineligible, then your project will not be returned to you. I wanted to mention the Quest to you. This is a student award. It rewards student or excellence in health research among students. We've offered it for 6 years, I think, running, 5-6 years. And it's jointly offered with Capital Health. There is a monetary component, and we always celebrate this event, the Quest winner, when we announce our funding. So it's an exciting opportunity. Oops. There we go. So I thought I would take a minute just to describe to you what happens after we receive, this is the slide that I moved. So if you just want to focus up here, it is in your handout, it's just later. And I realized it should move up. So health research project grants, CHIRP grants, and all of our SRA grants are reviewed using the same essential process. We have 2 peer review committees, as I mentioned. Health policy, health services, and health outcomes is one committee. Med, or basic science and medical, is the other committee. After we receive all of the applications, they're sent out to all of our internal reviewers and all of the external reviewers. All of those reviews come back to us before the review date. They are sorted, processed, and distributed. The review committees meet over 2 days. They look at each and every application that is eligible. And they have a discussion of each of those applications. The first reviewers and second reviewers speak to the project during the review sessions. External reviews are read by the scientific officers. They bring up any points that are germane from those external reviews during the committee discussion. A consensus score is reached between the first and second reviewers, and then the panel votes plus or minus 0.5 to determine a final score for each project and each student. That final score is rank ordered. We fund top down to whatever cut score we can afford. I was thinking about the students, so I took a look at this for last year. For students last year, in the Health Policy Services and Outcomes category, the average cut score was 4.043. It's a scale to 4.9. So that gives you an idea of how very competitive these grants and awards are. At the master's level, we ended up with a cut score of 4.043. At PhD, it was 4.3. The postdoc cut score was 4.386. So they're competitive, and you can do really well on your applications, and we don't have enough money. So in an ideal world, we'd like to fund everything above 3.5, but we simply can't afford at this juncture. All of our decisions are finalized by September, and they are announced in the fall. It's important, especially if you to tell your students, that we send out the notice of award in July. So they need to make sure we have their contact information, email, and postal address for July. If they go home for the summer and we can't find them, we get into difficulties. Then, once receiving your NOA, which is essentially a contract between the applicant and an SHRF for securing your funding, you have to ensure that you have the appropriate ethics approvals or waivers in place before we release funds. For students, it doesn't work exactly that way because they don't need ethics every year of studies, so we release their funds September 1st, generally speaking. In terms of reporting, we require annual progress reports and then a final report within 30 days of the project end date. So it's pretty standard stuff. If you're not in compliance with your reporting requirements at NSHRF, you can't make any other applications or receive any other funding from NSHRF until you come into compliance. All right. Those are the grants that are competitive, that have the most immediate deadlines. I'll take you through our other competitive health research funding opportunities, capacity and knowledge transfer and exchange, and tell you a little bit about what we're trying in those two programs. So, in the area of capacity, which is the area that I manage, we have 4 competitive grants. Our registration deadline will be November 3rd, 2008, and application is January 7th, 2009. So my next competition is later this year. So this year, in capacity, we've added 2 new competitive grants, team development and sponsored workshop grant. We've offered slightly more money in some of our program areas, as well as changing our registration and application dates. Our CRA grant is funding that's intended to build new alliances between communities and universities, research institutions. The alliance must be a new one. Similar to our CHIRP project, you have to have a community partner. And in previous years, it's been a requirement that you develop, during this funding period, an application to our Collaborative Health Research Project grant. So the funding is proposal development, team development funding. It's not funding for research activity, it's to get a team together and develop a proposal. This year, we're expanding it so that you can either be making an application to our CHIRP grant or developing a letter of intent or proposal to a number of national or international collaborative health research grants. So for example, if you want to make an application to the Social Sciences and Humanity Research Council Community University Research Alliance, SECURA, you may do so through here. You can get funding to develop your LOI or develop your proposal. If you want to make an application to the NSERC CHIRP grant, Collaborative Health Research Project, again, that's eligible.